So
Recording in progress.
our visitors can find that. And we're so welcoming to our two new people sitting here. And we will sing together. So you can stand, please. And you can be seated. We will now begin with our invocation. Thank you, Mother, Father, God, Creator, Source, for bringing us all together. And as we come together, we open our hearts in gratitude for this space, for the opportunity for friendship, and our connection to Spirit. And with this, we say thank you. And our statement of intent, which says so much about who we are and decisions that were made 30 years ago. We are fortunate to have a variety of speakers for Sunday services. By using guest speakers, we gain wisdom from all those who share. This is a church where we can worship the God of our own understanding, a place to experience joy and be uplifted, and a place where we can gain strength and inspiration to share with all we come in contact with through the week. We invite you to join us in this celebration of life, to nourish your spirit and to enjoy the company of kindred spirits. And now, my friends, let's turn to our principles. And they are on a half piece of paper that you'll find in your hymnal. We're still a little bit of a work in process with these, but they will be coming along in a laminate. So let's stand and read these together. We believe God is the eternal source and creator of all, and is present in everything. Our eternal soul, endowed with free will, grows through many lifetimes. Communication occurs between the physical and spiritual worlds. Prayer and meditation strengthen our connection to the divine. All healing comes from Source. Seeking this for ourselves and compassion for others' suffering is the highest priority. Because we are all one, what we do unto others, we do unto ourselves. The choice of love is always open for every soul. Living these principles leads us to grow in divine love. And now we will have our first hymn, and Carol will tell us about that.
It's called Higher Ground, as Steve requested. It's in the old hymnal called Spiritual Hymnal Book.
higher ground, huh? I mean, in spiritualist hymnal? Okay. And please stand, if you're able. Uh-huh. Thank you. You can be seated. Now I'm going to introduce a little bit of the service ahead. Our speaker, Kate Pearson, that was planned to come here, is quite ill this morning. So we put her in our hearts right now. And we have made a new plan. And so I am Carolyn Sheets, and I am the president of the Board of Trustees. And it is my honor to be in community with all of you and with an extraordinary board. Our healing meditation this morning will be done by Sue Brewer, who's our faithful, hardworking secretary. And that would have been done by our speaker as well. And then also, we will have our healing bowl meditation in a little bit, and then we will have our monthly channel with Barbara With, who's also a member of our board, and also a professional channel of, I don't know, since 17, she once said. And she's in her 60s now, so she's done that, and we will have that. And then people, we're going to have some time for community sharing. And we've done this a few times in the past year, and it's an opportunity for any one of us to come to the microphone and share a small piece, 4 minutes, 5 minutes at the most. And our subject this week is going to be stories about our ancestors, a story about an ancestor in our life, because we've just come through Ancestors Day, with this past week. So that will be completing after the channel, depending on how long the channel goes. So with that, Sue, I lost my place for a minute. Oh, Healing Bowl, thank you. Our secretary and my guide. I bring our attention to the Healing Bowl, which is always alive. Anytime during the week, we can set our intention to place a prayer, and it grows with all the energy of our community and its history. And also now at this time, I ask any of you who would like to stand, and I'll bring you the mic, and if there's anyone or action on the earth that you would like us to pray for together. And I will right now say Kate Pearson, our speaker, who's quite sick. Anybody else?
My sister Elaine, she was here all week. She has cancer, and she's not good. She has no pain, though. No pain, so she's really lucky. But she's got tumors on all her bones, on her spine and on her head, and a lot of her bones. So we had a week together, and it was really nice. She's gone home now, so keep her in your prayers. Thank you.
Elaine in Milwaukee.
I'd just like to ask for a prayer to send healing the way for those spirits that have been lost in the wars that we've had recently.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I'd just like to place my granddaughter Isabella in this circle for her physical and mental healing and whatever would be for her highest good. She's been dealing a long time with drugs and mental illness for at least 6 years, and she's only 22. So I pray for her.
Isabella.
Isabella.
Anybody else? Let's pray for Tom, Lita's son. He's recovering from a second eye surgery, and I think they've been going well. And he's able to live in his own home again. And so there's great progress, and let's definitely keep Tom in our prayers. Thank you for that. And I would add for our earth and all of the deep suffering, the compassion we can give to ourselves and also to others, to all the world, and all the joy for all the good as well. And with that, we will have some moments of silent prayer together. And then Sue will step up and lead the meditation. Oh, and we're going to sing In the Silence. Thank you, Sue. Page 74 in the Wings of Song hymnal.
as you're in your quiet space, take a nice, deep, relaxing breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in our future. Breathe out the past. Breathe in happiness, joy, and peace. And breathe out anything that does not serve you. As the air swirls in as you breathe in and swirls out as you breathe out, so the earth and the universe swirls in, swirls out, swirls about, swirls around. Every day is a new opportunity to not just look towards the future and see the opportunities that we have, but also to gain wisdom and strength and guidance from the past that we're breathing out. We see our ancestors. They are swirling. They are with us. They are sending us messages, if only we can listen. As you deep breathe, think about your favorite ancestor and breathe out with that spirit in mind. Think of the things that have been accomplished through our ancestors. They survived things that we don't even need to think about some days. They went through different journeys and came to this country or went to other countries or have been survived through things that we can just imagine. And their strength is our strength. Breathe in that strength and pull it from the depths of your lungs and your toes and your feet. Bring that through the earth and through yourself and breathe out with that strength remaining within you. Think about everything you've accomplished and everything you've gone through and bring that forward also. We've learned through our history, our own personal history, what we can survive. And we can learn from our ancestors how to survive even better. Whatever happens to us in the future cannot be predicted. But we can be ready for it with our strength from our lifetime and from our ancestors' lifetimes. They went places we can only imagine. They saw things we may not ever see, but we can still learn from those experiences. Bring forth your feelings. Bring forth their feelings. Bring forth your accomplishments. Bring forth their accomplishments. Become one with your ancestors, those who are still with you and those who are swirling about as we sit here today. We all pray for guidance. We all pray for goodness in our life. Let's keep that in mind and pray to them as well. Have them show us the way to whatever it is our next great accomplishment will be. So take another deep, deep breath in. Breathe in deeply. Feel your roots and breathe out, feeling optimistic and excited about what is to come next. Breathe in, breathe out, and always remember that breath brings you to whatever is next, to new accomplishments, to old feelings and accomplishments, to your ancestors and to yourself. Take one last deep breath in. Breathe out. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, bring yourself back to this place and space. Open your eyes and see what you cannot see, the future. Namaste.
So now Steve is bringing Barbara in from wherever she is. She's traveling until next spring. And because I realize I didn't fully explain who she's bringing through are our own ancestors. Many, many gather in spirit and are here with us for these services every week. And many, many, if not all, of the former members of this community that began in 1913. And so it is a great gathering that once a month we hear from. And the rest of the time, they're still here with us. And thank you, Sue, for that beautiful alignment with our own ancestors. I really moved with it. So now we will hear from Barbara through Steve's tech work.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Great. Well, let's stay in that deep breath state, centering back into ourselves. And let's begin by feeling our ancestors all around us. The souls who began this vision all those many years ago. Those who through the years have supported and been a part of our vision here. And the many generations that have spanned even this current congregation. We're all here. We're always here. And that was part of why we wanted to build this church. Because we too believed all those years ago, when we founded and had those guiding principles, that was very true. And so we began to look forward, not to dying, but to having that experience, knowing we're going to go through it anyway, and seeing what's on the other side that we so mysteriously knew was there. So to have been able to successfully build this sturdy little church through all of those years, and how loyal you are all to this incredible vision today is a miracle. And it's warming all of our hearts, and it's joining us closer together And today, what we just want to come and to tell you is how we talk to you. How do your ancestors guide you? And some of you have actual conversations and a relationship with those in afterlife. And sometimes the communication comes through your own intuition. So let us explain is that when you're in need and you need to ask for help from a higher power, your ancestors, the creator, whomever, and you feel a need, that feeling of a need is already answered. The creators and the ancestors have already figured out a solution to whatever your need is. And sometimes you're the last to know. So when you're saying, crying out, please, I need help, we all know that. And we've been here creating creative solutions for you. And part of how we communicate that with you is through your own intuition. We may not appear to you, or you have a conversation, but when you think of us, particularly if it's your mother or your father, your sister, your child who is in afterlife, who is now an ancestor in afterlife, there's an emotional attachment to those that we love. And to feel that sometimes our minds shut down. We go into grief, and as much as we want to think about that person, it hurts too much. And so we are here in complete compassion, patience. We are the manifestation of patience incarnate in the angels and in the afterlife. So you don't have to worry about that. This time that you have now, you've got the bodies now. We don't. So your intuition coming up through your heart and telling you to take that next step for the good of the whole situation. That is where we're going to you're going to hear us. And sometimes it's something as simple as you got delayed and you had to take a different way to work, and because of that you ran into somebody that you didn't think you'd see that led to something big. So sometimes we speak through your intuition, but we don't say, don't go that route, go this route, because if you go that route in 3 minutes, this guy's going to be over there. That's not how intuition sounds. So your job of your self-care is to really be incredibly aware and in present moment with the intellect. Because we can tell your emotions are there. Whether you're going to feel them or not, they are there. Your intuition is always functioning, but it's your intellects and your egos. And it was for us too. Imagine how much wisdom we have being able to look back on the lives we lived as warring people and all kinds of calamity through all kinds of lives. We're here together now in this time with you in human bodies to help support your evolution into this new earth and into this different way that you operate as humans. So that's where we're working through you. And we work through your grandma, and we work through your child, and we work through the angels. The group of the whole, and the voice of compassion works through every piece of the universe of creation. It is all made up of compassion. And this is your time now to shine. And we come here very gratefully, as much as we can, through Barbara but we are also here available for you. Anyone who wants to be able to learn how to have this kind of direct communication. Perhaps that could be something that Barbara could lead on those Monday mornings. But in any case, we love you. And is there any questions or conversation you'd like to have? Otherwise, we're going to just sit back and now listen to you.
I have a question. Are you still
Yes,
there?
yes.
Yes?
Yes. Yes.
As we sit here now, in our bodies on earth, what would you say to us about time? Because, in fact, for me, in the last 24 hours, it feels like there's been another speed up. And I ask for any insights that you can give us here in our bodies, finding our way to cope with a shrinking amount of time. Thank you.
We would say approach time like you might your emotions. Emotions are there. You cannot live without them. They're always going to be a huge spectrum of them, whether you acknowledge or feel them or not. They're a part of the underpinnings of how the universe is created. And what we've been trying to help humanity learn is how to master their emotion and how to use it as their power to then channel the intention to be the greatest good possible in the world. Because when you pick that mission of really working for the good of the whole to build the new earth, you have the synergy in you. And what's going on now with time is similar. You can stretch time. Time is not that incremental thing that you've been taught by the ticking clock. It's more of a field that has an elasticity, and it surely has a relationship to a human intention and a human perception. It's almost like the sixth fundamental force of the universe. It is something that you're being asked to master in that way right now. And we realize not a lot of people understand that on the earth right now. And so it's taxing the human psyche. And as far as making the most of the time that you have, we think that's the perfect conditions because you've got nothing to lose, really. So why not use yourselves as the most effective peacemakers that you possibly can figure out how to do on every level, starting, of course, within self, mastering your intellect. And when you lose your body in this life, on we go. And you get to turn around and be an ancestor. And that's a whole different experience. It's like the difference between being a parent and a grandparent. So, but we hope that helps.
Not enough yet. I want to know about stretching time. If you can give us a little bit more instruction.
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. In fact, we have been working with Barbara on her trip to see how far she could stretch time. And it started at 4 a.m. when her ride was supposed to come, but was delayed an hour, which would have meant she would have missed her flight. And from there were every obstacle that we could think of, long lines. missed baggage, wrong airports. And she intentionally used her breath while she was in present moment to be in the moment and to calm herself down into that place of peace within. And she used any time anxiety arose about missing the flight or having to do this, she calmed it back down to a breath. And despite all odds, she made her flight. She got her airport changed. Her luggage was, and at every point, her whole mission was to breathe the elasticity of time, so that the things that needed to take place in order for all the things I needed to happen, that's what happened. And that's how you stretch it. But you see how it relates back to being in present moment and mastering your intellect and your emotion.
Very, very helpful. Now, what I'm hearing embedded in that is not only our breath and present moment, also anchoring my understanding, our understanding, that time is elastic. So if I were only staying in present moment, I wouldn't be thinking about that. But I'm hearing that we want, ideally, to manage this by embedding a new belief. That's what comes to me.
Exactly.
Can you lead us in a moment of that, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
So as we touch back into ourselves, taking in all that we have told you, open your mind and picture a beautiful night sky. That is your mind. It is as open and as spacious and as mysteriously, miraculously, majestically what it is. There's silence in that night sky. And from that place, you listen for the deepest stirrings in your heart. Because much like when you're out in the wilderness and you're looking at that night sky and you're sitting on the earth, it's an entirely different frequency and vibration than even sitting here in this church. So when you can imagine, when you're in those places, as we've mentioned, where time needs to stretch a bit, where you calm yourself down and you become like that night sky. And you breathe in and you just intend that you're going to stretch time. And each time you feel anxiety, you focus on that and go back to being the night sky. Your greatest challenge will be the ego. And please understand that the ego is suffering from its own inferiority complex. Your ego is a part of you that is so necessary and so needed, but it has been told and reprimanded and blamed for so much that it belittles all of you in that same way. So this embedding of this new understanding is that you first must tackle your own ego. And what does it need? It certainly is in charge of free will. So it needs to see that night sky. It needs to understand its purpose. Its purpose is to wait and to listen for that voice of compassion within, and then take the step to do what that intuition tells you. So it's not that this is so far reaching within you. This is a truth that's resonating with all of you. We just hear all the doubtful thoughts of if you could ever master yourself to such a degree. And we say, absolutely. Namaste.
Any other questions at all? Thank you so much, Spirit. That really, really was helpful. The night sky is an incredible touchstone I found for me. Anybody else? Then we say thank you, Spirit. We say thank you to our ancestors and to our partners. Blessed be. Namaste.
Namaste. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Robert? No, you're just saying goodbye. Okay, got it. All right. Well, now, dears, after that, we're so near the end of our service that I think it would be wonderful to have another song and put ourselves together, because that was a big deal. At least for me. In Wings of Song. Thank you so much. And now, is there another song that anybody would like to sing? And Carol, you are so astute. Oh, Denise? Oh, please do. Denise is a member of our board too, and we were busily responding and planning this morning when we found we had our speaker not able to come today. Thank you.
This is a personal ancestor story, because mine is very complicated. I'm blessed. I have two sets of ancestors because I'm adopted. But I found this piece. It's called Ancestral Mathematics, so it applies to each and every one of you. And it kind of blew my mind. It forced me to think beyond Grandma and Grandpa. It says, in order to be born, you needed 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, 16 second great-grandparents, 32 third great-grandparents, 64 fourth great-grandparents, 128 fifth great-grandparents, 256 sixth great-grandparents, 512 seventh great-grandparents, 1,024 eighth great-grandparents, 2,048 ninth great-grandparents. For you to be born today, from 12 previous generations, you needed a total of 4,094 ancestors over the last 400 years. Think for a moment. How many struggles, how many battles, how many difficulties, how much sadness, how much happiness, how many love stories, how many expressions of hope for the future did your ancestors have to undergo for you to even exist at this present moment?
And a moment of silence to take that in, people. That was extraordinary. To breathe into that lineage, honestly knowing that that DNA and that history, mystery, herstory is in us, and our gratitude, and perhaps some feeling of dauntedness with what we have received in this life. And yet, all these lives threading through time and into us with our gratitude and maybe our questions and our cries for help. Blessed be. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. And now, let's take our offering. Jerry will come and do the prayer for us. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Denise and Sue. Thank you. And Jerry, please say a prayer for us.
A prayer for all of us. We ask our higher self, our spirit that has always been with us, to remember that we are spirits of the universe, that we're able to go up there with gratitude, thanksgiving, appreciation, forgiveness and oneness and wholeness, to connect with everything of God and spirit of the universe, light and love and peace and joy, to share with each other forever and always. Amen, amen, amen.
Thank you, Jerry.
You're welcome. You're a great spirit, too.
Takes a bunch of us to know each other, doesn't it? And now, another song from Carol to guide us. I trust you implicitly. Well, we could go right into our circle. We're a little bit early, but. Thank you. 135. 175. Oh, the love that knows no end. Yes. And now, our benediction. You may stand, and then we'll gather in our circle. Dear people, may the road rise up to meet all of us. May the wind be always at our backs. May the sun shine warm upon our faces, and may God hold us all in the palm of their hand. Thank you all.